listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
Get ready. It's time for the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Telling you everything you need to know about the Saints, Pelicans, and a whole lot more.
Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guy. And we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. I'm Big Q, and on the line we have DC chiming in. What's going on, DC?
Pain, heartache, and a little bit of bliss.
I think a lot of people kind of sharing that sentiment, but a win's a win no matter how ugly it is. And we'll cover that today on podcast 331. That's right, 331 on the Sports Coma. We'll be recapping the Saints versus the Browns, as the Saints were able to pull out an ugly 21-18 win over the Browns to keep them winless, and the Saints get their first win of the 2018 regular season by beating the mistake-prone Browns, who basically helped the Saints to defeat them today by leaving 8 points. The kicker alone left 8 points on the field, ultimately helping the Saints in many different ways. But anyway, we'll be recapping that today on the Sports Coma. We also have our thumbs up, thumbs down segment as customary for recaps of Saints games. We also talk about the improvements the defense made. We also talk about the mistakes that Drew Brees had today, even though he was able to put up a 243-yard performance with 2 touchdowns. Brees could have had 4 touchdowns on a day, overthrowing a couple of times. Possibly, he could have had by at least 4 of them today. Could have been 5. Actually, you think about it, but at the end of the day, Drew did just enough to make it happen. We'll talk about the running game as well and see if this is a still issue with the running game. We'll discuss that, among other things, and break it down today. We'll also play a little Coach Sean Payton to see what the coach's thoughts on the win over the Browns, and we'll get right into it with our Sports Coma question of the day. We'll have that later on as well. So without further ado, let's get right into the show. DC, the Saints were able to beat the Cleveland Browns 21-18 in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Pretty strange game. It was at halftime. Cleveland was winning the game 6-3, and of course, through 3 quarters, Cleveland was in control of this game 12-3 until the Saints were able to make some things happen in the fourth quarter, then pile up 18 points in the fourth quarter to ultimately snuff out the Browns 21-18, despite the fact a lot of different things happened in this situation. Let's go over some of the team stats, then we'll go into some of the individual stats. First downs, the Saints had 18-16 on the first downs. Total plays, 61-60 advantage to Saints. 275 yards worth of total offense by New Orleans. Cleveland had 327 total yards. So that's really special. 12 drives apiece by both teams. The Saints averaged just under 5 yards a play. Cleveland was over 5 yards a play, 5.5 yards. Like we said, 234 yards passing for Cleveland versus 213 by New Orleans. The rushing attack yards, 93 total rushing yards for the Cleveland Browns, 62 for the Saints. As a whole, penalties, the Saints had 4 penalties for 53 yards. Cleveland 4 penalties for 43 yards. The Saints had 2 turnovers in the game, 1 turnover by Cleveland. Ultimately, the Saints were able to get one of those turnovers from the Cleveland was intercepted by Marcus Williams. Big ups to him. And of course, the Saints won the time of possession 32-41 versus 27-19 by the Browns. Individual statistics, we'll start with the offense first for New Orleans. As I said, Drew Brees finished the game 28 of 35 for 243 yards, averaged almost 7 yards to throw, 2 touchdowns in the game. He was sacked 3 times, finished with a QBR of 75. New Orleans Saints rushing game was led by Alvin Kamara, 13 carries, 46 yards. The longest was an 18-yard run. Mike Gillislee carried the ball 8 times for 18 yards on the day. And, of course, they gave the ball 1 time to Jonathan Williams, 1 carry for -1 yards. They finished with 23 carries, 62 yards as a total. Receivers for the Saints, Michael Thomas continued his blistering pace of catching the ball. He had 16 last game. He has 12 this game, 12 catches, 89 yards, and 2 scores in this game. He was targeted 13 13 times, caught 12 of them. Big ups for Mike Thomas and his exceptional season at this point. Ted Ginn Jr., 4 catches, 55 yards. Kamara, 6 catches, 53 yards. Ben Watson caught the ball 3 times for 19 yards. Traquan Smith, Josh Shields, Zach Lyon all had a catch on the game in this one. Tyrod Taylor finished the game 22 of 30 for 246, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He was sacked 3 times by the Saints. We'll get into it as well to help out. But the crazy part about this game, DC, we're going to start at first to talk about the defense. The improvements that the defense made, with all those statistics that I said, and of course, I'm going to come back and give you the defensive statistics in just a second. But what impressed you about the Saints win? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are I'm impressed with the tenacity and the ability for them to be able to win in the game that obviously they should have lost. For them to do that, I'm impressed with to have a mental identity to just go ahead and fight through, man, when you really don't have everything going for you. The defense did look okay, though. I don't think the defense played that bad. We had one player that we might look at needing to help out, reposition, give a new role to or something. Because Ken Crawley was basically the major disappointment I've seen on defense. Other than that, I think everything else was improved. But the offense took a complete step backwards. I almost felt like we had a crystal ball, bro. Cause we said this last show. We said the defense would pretty much show up. And the offense probably was going to not show up because this is what happened. This is early season Saints football, man. I guess we might as well get used to it. Too many crawfish balls and gumbo, I guess.
It's been customary for some time now that the Saints start off the regular season 0-2. Those statistics laid out about that. And that might be due to the fact that they don't play the starters together in the preseason at any length of time. And they basically use games 1 and 2 of the regular season as pretty much, their a preseason as a team come together in jail. But usually by the third game, they pretty much ironed out most of the wrinkles as of recent years. But giving up 234 yards through the air, 1 touchdown, and then they got a pick. They were able to rattle them, get them down 3 times, 3 sacks for the Saints defense, and keeping the Cleveland Browns running attack, just 27 carries for 93 yards. And then they didn't allow Tyrod Taylor to run all over him and make a difference. He had 4 carries for 26 yards. So the Saints, in all essence, they had a pretty decent game in terms of what they were able to do. Obviously a better performance than what they did against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they didn't do too much against Tampa Bay. But you look at the defensive statistics for the team. A.J. Klein led the team in tackles. Actually, him and Demario Davis were tied for tackles. Total tackle was a 9 apiece for both those guys. Marshawn Lattimore had 5 tackles. 1 tackle for a loss. Pat Robinson had 5 tackles. He played well. So Devon Bell. Sheldon Rankins had 5 tackles and a sack and a tackle for a loss. He played really well, better. Kurt Coleman and Ken Crawley, 4 tackles apiece. Manti Te'o had 4. David Onyemata, 4. Marcus Williams had 3 tackles on the day. And Marcus Davenport had 3 tackles. Had a few stats as well. Cam Jordan had 2 tackles. He had 2 sacks in the game for Cam. So Cam and Sheldon Rankins making it happen for the Saints on the sack total. Alex Okafor also had a couple of tackles in this game. Of course, we mentioned Marcus Williams' interception, which he returned 22 yards. Didn't get a touchdown, but he got yards on the return. So the defense, in all essence, did a lot better job to help it. That late interception by Marcus Williams helped the Saints kind of push ahead in the game and make some things happen right there. So big ups to the Saints defense because really the defense really helped when the offense was really kind of slowing down. Now, let's talk about that offense, DC. Let's get on the offense now. Well, I mentioned the statistics from Drew Brees. I told you about Alvin Kamara. I told you how fantastic Michael Thomas was once again in this game. What do you have to say about that offense?
Not really liking the offense. It's lingering over from last week. We did great offensively, but I thought a lot of it was junk time, catch-up football. We padded some stats, but nevertheless, the passing game did look good. I don't like the fact that we can't really run the ball. I'm not really liking that. For the type of team we have, we're not going to be successful as far as reaching the goals of getting deep into the playoffs without being able to run the ball, man. So I really don't like that. And I understand what the stats say. Drew Brees' stats don't look that bad. I mean, he had a passer rating of 114. But by the high standards that I'm going to judge Drew Brees by, and a lot of us are as well, because we know what he's capable of. Had a horrible game to me because I've seen 3 touchdowns that were basically left on the table. That would have made everything a lot easier, and Cleveland wouldn't have had a chance to almost win the game. And it was on him. There were blatant overthrow, you had an underthrow, and I believe another overthrow, was it? He had 2 to take in and 1 to Ben Watson, man. All of these could have been touchdowns. So looking at all of that, seeing him come out with the win, but I mean, it was very unimpressive, as unimpressive as it probably could have been against the Cleveland Browns, and still actually won. But I can't let our receivers off the hook either with these 2 fumbles, man. We got to hold on to the ball. Y'all need to buy some more expensive gloves or something and hold on to the football. We cannot turn the ball over and still be trying to find our identity on defense and offense, and then we want to decide we're going to turn the ball over too while we basically having our full dress rehearsal preseason game. So hopefully we have all that figured out going into next week against Atlanta.
That's right. Still a lot to talk about this game. We're about to go into our first break. When we come back, we're going to hit the rest of our topics. We're going to talk about the Sports Coma question of the day. We'll tell you about that, ask you guys, and of course, you guys put it on down there in the comment section. We'll hit you with the Sports Coma question of the day, which is, are you happy with the Saints' 21-18 win over the Cleveland Browns? Very simple question. Some people will say yay, some people will say nay, but I want to know, what do you think? Are you satisfied? And I know anytime you can get a win is a win, whether it's ugly or not, a win is a win. But truly, are you satisfied
with this win? Can I add another question?
Are you satisfied with this win? But anyway, when we come back on the other side of the break, we're going to hit our Sports Comas question of the day. Once again, we'll talk about all the other topics dealing with the game. Stay with us. You listen to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the Guy.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is the Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the Guy.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love, unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Hit the link below and rep the black and gold today. Who that?
What's up, Sports World? The PRO Media Network is on a mission to reach 10,000 subscribers. So besides our regular programs like the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, the Pelican Post Game Report, Rapid Fire TSC, and others, we will be expanding out and offering other content like movie, anime, and gaming reviews for your entertainment. So if you enjoy our content, please donate at our Patreon page. Also subscribe, comment, and share. And help the PRO Media Network reach 10,000 subs. Peace.
Follow the Sports Coma on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Welcome back to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. We recapping the Saints 21-18 win over the Cleveland Browns in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. We covered a lot of the stats and facts and stuff in the first segment. This time around, we get into some more topics dealing with the Saints, such as our thumbs up, thumbs down segment. We'll also have Coach Sean Payton's interview, hitting you with that in just a few minutes. And we'll also cover the Saints offensive line and the running game. We'll talk about that on this side of the break. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The Saints were able to pull it down and get the win. An ugly win, 21-18. Defense stepped up. Offense out of rhythm. Definitely out of rhythm. But without further ado, before we give you any analysis, let's hear what the coach of the Saints had to say. Here's Coach Sean Payton talking about his team.
Look, just a couple of things. I thought the first half, defensively, we played well. Offensively, we made way too many mistakes. Too many misses that shouldn't happen. Missed throws. Fumbled the ball again twice. Everything that keeps the opponent in the game. And the Then the second half, we managed to move the ball a little bit better. I didn't like how we handled the last series defensively with them having a chance at a field goal. But I told our players, we found a way to win, but we've got a long way to go to improve and to become a better team. Any questions? You get zone pressures. You're trying to predict which side it's coming from. A couple times we got hit, and then later in the game we were able to pick some up and make some plays. Listen, it's 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row with the turnover. So I like his resilience, but I like the ball too. So look, our guys have that, and yet we've got to, as coaches, get a number of those things cleaned up, or we'll find ourselves against a better team, on the losing end of a game like that. That's the truth. It just looked like it incomplete, right? In other words, I think it was set up well. I think Drew just missed it high. We'll see on film. I'm not real happy right now, Ed. Honestly, I'm glad we won, but as a coach, you see enough things, man, that'll keep you from winning more important games. We've got a lot of work to do. We put it on the ground two more times. Shoot. I was impressed with that. That was encouraging. And I think that, look, the one thing we're able to do is when we have to, we've shown we can play from behind, and come back and get into a game. So, look, we got the win, and I'm encouraged about that. But I'm also excited to get back and look at the tape and make the corrections we need as we get into some division play coming up. Excuse me? Well, let's say they punt. We're on the 42-yard line right now. I mean, what kind of question is that? Where are we if he doesn't? It was a big play for us, but I think we're going to have him punt. And so that was a huge turnaround play. It's a big play. Yeah, look, he did a good job of seeing through the vertical, and he got a good jump on it. I thought he was going to score. He's got real strong hands, so you saw how he caught it. A lot of times guys will have to jump, to pin that ball, but that was a big play. Listen, that was a big kick he hit, and a couple big kicks their guy didn't hit, and that ended up being the difference too. It was something we had looked at during the week, and I thought their kicker hit some deeper kicks, but we got the one out past the 40. It was a good return. He's explosive.
There it is. That's Coach Sean Payton chiming in on his team's performance against the Browns as the Saints were able to get on the good side of things here. Let's get right into it, DC. Let's talk about the offensive line. Of course, the offensive line, Andrews Peak got hurt in the game. We'll see if there's an injury report on him. Also, Tommy Lee Lewis also left the game. He didn't return. It might look serious as Taysom Hill got out there and actually made something happen. I wonder why Tommy Lee couldn't exactly do that. And some people would say Tommy Lee is faster than Taysom Hill. I don't know. Maybe not football speed, but perhaps maybe he's running to the donuts, running to the beer line or something, perhaps. But anyway, the Saints' offensive line was finally fully intact for this game. I mean, all the great pieces, in my opinion, and I'm not just speaking because I've been following this team all my life. I'm speaking in terms of looking at how talented the Saints is from tackle to tackle. I would say, in my opinion, that the Saints have the best offensive line in football, even though right now they're not totally healthy because Andrews is in and out the lineup. But the Saints running game, they're really struggling. They ran it a little bit better this game to make some things happen. They were a little bit better balanced, not all the way where they usually would see. Some people say that's because Ingram's not there and he's their power back that can punch those holes open at times. Let's talk about the offensive line. What is your thoughts on the offensive line and they play in this game against the Browns?
I think they did a good job. They shutting off the outside rushes. Cleveland had some pretty good outside rushes as well. But up the middle, man, we had a lot of problems up the middle. I know Andrews Pete went down during the game and let a guy, Lariba, step in. But at D tackle, number 65, ate us alive, man. Blew up some plays. And I think the other pressures outside of that were all blitzes and kind of miscommunications. So all in all, I don't think the offensive line was too bad. I don't know what's going on with the running game, though. As far as that, we only attempted to rush the ball, 23 times? So, I mean, that's a decent number to where you would think you would be able to get more than 62 yards. So we definitely got to fix that. I don't know if that's a mix of play calling or just, the guys not handling their assignments. Because obviously you can see when our running backs are getting the ball, they don't. So I can't really put it all on the backs. There ain't a lot of holes being created right now. It could be due to still finding that identity. Everybody's still gelling. We got a lot of guys, some nagging injuries. Tyron Armstead got a knee. Andrews P, something going on with his knee. And then you got Laribas in there as a guy that isn't in the rotation heavy all the time. So we'll have to see, man. But all in all, I say the offensive line, I give them a C+.
Well, I mean, Larry Ogunjobi is the guy you're talking about. He had 4 tackles in his game and 2 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss and 2 QB hits. He was all over the place. And you were absolutely right. He was manhandling inside in this game. He even beat Max Unger once, and Max Unger is probably one of the top 5 best, top 3 best centers in all of this in the pro league. So the guy was fierce and definitely something. A guy that was just absolutely a monster internally. And the defensive tackles for the Browns did do a good job of space heating to kind of prevent the running game. Now we segue into the running game. Now you mentioned it in your breakdown about how effective they were, how we struggled to kind of open holes or whatnot. Elvin Kamara, 13 carries, 46 yards, average 3.5 carries. They even gave the ball to Gillislee. I've not seen enough sample size of Gillislee to really comment on what done. 8 carries, 18 yards, 2.3 yards on the carry. Not really too much I can really talk about. Yeah, it's that meh. It's one of the meh type of moves as far as he is concerned.
He had a nice run that they called back, though, for probably 15 to 12 yards.
Now, Sean,
it was holding on the receivers. It wasn't on the offensive line.
So, but this is the whole thing we're talking about now. Of course, Sean Payton mentioned in the post-game conference as the fact that he said that we put it on the ground twice. Of course, we know about Mike Thomas, another fumble by Mike Thomas today. Also, Ted Ginn Jr. fumbled the ball today as well. So those were 2 turnovers that the Saints had that they didn't recoup. Of course, like I said, Marcus Williams was able to get a pick to kind of retrieve it on the other end. But going right into our next segment here, let's get the thumbs up and thumbs down. Seems more appropriate to hit it about now. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Who's your thumbs up, thumbs down player for the game against the Browns?
There's a couple of guys, man. It's hard to pick one. I could easily say Michael Thomas or Kamara, but I'm not going to do that, man. My thumbs up guy is going to be Ted Ginn, and here's why. Ted Ginn made a key play, 42 yards, to basically save the game for us. Other than that, it looks like he was pretty much quiet. But Ted Ginn was getting open all day, man. Too bad we weren't able to connect with him and hit him. He saved us the game on that key play. During the last drive, that's basically the only person Drew Brees was going to. And I think if things would have went a lot smoother, Ted Ginn could have easily had 2 touchdowns, 100-something yards. So I'm going to give him a thumbs up based on that, just thinking outside of the box. You can also say Kamara as well, because I know you got to give it up to the star, the real star. I'm going to let you handle him. My thumbs down guy, I'm going to steal yours, what you would have said. Yes, none other than Ken Crawley before you walk in. The dude you love to criticize. He played horrible, man, late in the game. I'm not going to say he played horrible all game because I would be lying. Ken Crawley did make some plays today. But it's really a carryover from last week, man. About 3 touchdowns Ken Crawley then gave up. We're only into week 2 of the season. It's going to be a long season if we don't fix this problem and correct whatever we need with him. It seems to be that he's not fast enough. I guess his technique also is going to be off. And we're also allowing him to play over the top without help, it appears, at times. And I don't know what we're going to do for the rest of the year, but this ain't going to work. So that's my 2. Ken Crawley, Ted Ginn, and a dash of Kamara now.
All right, thank you very much, DC, for your thumbs up, thumbs down. Let me hit you with my thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm going to start with thumbs up first. I might surprise you, but I think I'm going to give a thumbs up to Marcus Williams in this game. Marcus Williams, although he had 3 tackles in the game, he had a very critical late pick in the second half of the game that really turned things around, kind of shifted the momentum to help the Saints really get on the right side of things. Prior to that, the Saints were stalling out. Drew Brees got sacked a couple of times on third downs and ultimately they had to punt. So I think Marcus Williams, his really nice pick of Tyrod Taylor, who really doesn't turn the ball over that much, by the way. But Marcus Williams was able to make a play. Big ups to Marshawn Lattimore on that play, as Marshawn Lattimore did leap up in his face to force Tyrod to reset his feet and reset that throw, and Marcus Williams was able to make a beat on that play. Return about 21 yards, set up the Saints to kind of move in and do a score. So big ups to Marcus Williams. He gets my thumbs up. Thumbs down. On the day, there's only one real person I can give a thumbs down to, and I got to share it, which is definitely Ken Crawley. And for the record, I don't love to criticize Ken Crawley, but I don't have the blinders that most people have about Ken Crawley. I like I said it before, Ken Crawley is a good cornerback. He's just not a starting level cornerback. He's a nickel back guy, if at best nickel or dime. I would not have Ken Crawley starting on my team. I've been saying this for a long time. I've been watching Ken Crawley, and I've been saying the same thing. He's not a starting level cornerback. And you say, well, Q, he's going to take a little time. Most cornerbacks know to whip their head around to make plays happen. At times, Ken Crawley gets just beat because he takes poor angles. Most of it's, you can say, it's technique. Most of it's just not knowing where to be at times, and he get caught out there. So it's just a series of things that I just noticed about Ken Crawley that consistently shows up in his play. It's not every now and again you get beat deep, or every now and again. Like I said, last game he gave up, in my opinion, because the deep touchdown when Deshaun Jackson ran free and nobody covered him, that was Ken Crawley's man on that play. That was 3 touchdowns last game against Tampa. Let's say, well, Q, let's just take that away from him. He still got caught 2 touchdowns on against Tampa, one against Goodwin, one against Deshaun Jackson. He got beat over the top. This game, he got beat by Antonio Callaway over the top. So, like I said before, that's 3 touchdowns. That's 21 points that Ken Crawley has given up to the opposition from that position. So, and like DC astutely said, it's just 2 weeks in and you already surrendered 3 touchdowns. I say 4. I mean, it's going to be a long season, and you got Atlanta coming in the door. They licking their chops over there at Ken Crawley before you walk. I guarantee you that. But anyway, that's my little take on that. Anyway,
let's give some love to Michael Thomas, though, man. He had 2 touchdowns, basically kept us in the game and made sure we scored in the red zone, and in my opinion, made up for that fumble that he had. Thought that probably being a thumbs up guy, but Marcus Williams is an excellent pick as well, man.
Also, I'm going to shout out some love also to A.J. Klein and Demario Davis. Both of those guys together almost had 20 tackles today for the Saints defense as they stopped it up and made things happen, stuffed the run, played really well in coverage as well. So big up to the Saints defense for really turning it around from game 1 to game 2 in this here thing and making it happen, even though we got lucky. And I got to say, we got lucky because that dumb kick over there missed all those kicks, missed 2 kicks and an extra point. He left 8 points. He left 8 points on the field.
I don't think I ever seen a meltdown that bad.
That was a meltdown. I would have not. I said, you know what? I told that guy, man, you got to catch the plane home by your goddamn self. He single-handedly helped the Saints win that game, and I guarantee you next week he won't have a job for the Cleveland Browns. I guarantee you. If I was general manager, I was like,
I think we should sign him to the practice squad just to give him some money for a couple of weeks.
Thank you, Zane, whatever his name is. Thank
you. The practice squad, man. We need to pay him for that, bro. We need to pay him for that victory, bro.
Trust me,
maybe that's what Tyler Davidson was doing. You know, he was hurt. Might have went over there and put a few birdies in Zane.
There you go. Zane Gonzalez is our Sports Corner honorary saint this show. So thank you, Zane Gonzalez. Big ups to Zane Gonzalez.
MVP of the game. That's the real MVP right there.
That's the big thumbs up. Thumbs up. That's the truth. You know what, DC? I'm going to put the ultimate thumbs up segment goes to Zane Gonzalez for helping the Saints, the honorary Saint, Zane Gonzalez. The player of the game for the New Orleans Saints, Mr. Zane Gonzalez, the kicker for the Cleveland Browns. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. You got all of us smiling here. But anyway, that'll do it.
That's why Thomas Morris there was over there, Try to help him out after the game was over. That's our teammate, man.
Give him a big old plate full of crawfish etouffee for that move. Thank you very much there, Mr. Gonzalez. But anyway, that'll do it for the show. Thank you guys for joining us on the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. As always, if you like the show, please go to our Patreon page, www.patreon.com/PRO Media Network. Make a donation or one-time donation or sign up for a monthly contributorship which whatever you give goes to empower the platform so we can continue to turn out great content like you're listening to. Also join our social media pages at Facebook, Twitter. All the links are in the description section below. And of course, support our sponsors in the commercial links below. If you want to buy Saints gear, whatever, click the link below, go there and make a purchase. Whatever you buy goes to help the platform as well. And from me and DC and the crew here at the Sports Coma, thank you for listening. Peace.
Forget ESPN or Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Thank you for listening to the Pro Media Network, who provides hours and hours of free edutainment to you and yours. If you are benefiting positively from our content, please donate to help us grow our platform by going to www.patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. That's www.patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. And support the true independent artists.
Hello, Tiger fanatics. Are you ready for some football? If so, you need to head over to Fanatics. Click the link in the description section below and head over to get great deals on all LSU Tiger gear right now. Fanatics have all the great selection on everything Tigers. They have ladies and men's and children jerseys, footwear, t-shirts and dresses, golf and sports equipment, hats, pajamas and underwear, lawn and office gear, auto accessories, pet accessories, and much, much more. So if you're a Tiger and you want to show your Tiger spirit, click the link below and head over to Fanatics now to get all the top-notch LSU Tiger gear. And for 24 hours only, shipping will be free on all orders over just $29. Head over now and click the link in the description section below and be ready in style. Go Tigers.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.
There's a reason this office canceled Casual Friday. Why this guy is getting cut out of the will. And why sibling rivalries really exist. There's a reason he's always Employee of the Month. And why no shirt and no shoes is no problem. There's a lot of reasons to be a fan, but only NBAstore.com has all the gear.
What's up, sports world? This Big Q from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Talking to you about the website, theposhlifestyle.com. That's right, poshlifestyle.com. A great website where you can get great products at great prices. They sell organic herbs, vitamins, supplements, water filters, for your home, EMF and cell phone radiation protection, healing magnetics and healing crystals, personal protection devices like cell phones, stun guns, and mace sprays, organic deodorants, shampoos, soaps, toothpaste, and more. They also sell 10A grade Brazilian hair. 10A music is available now, all kind of the latest downloadable mixtapes. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to theposhlifestyle.com. That's The Posh Lifestyle, life spelled with a Y, LYFE, style.com. Put in The Sports Coma for the 10% discount on your purchase. It's a win-win. So get your mind and body right with The Posh Lifestyle.